What up, peeps? Joe Passarelli here. Wanted to weigh in on some wrestling news here on this Monday, right before Monday Night Raw, July 7th, 2014. Last night, a big announcement from a former Intercontinental and United States and Tag Team Champion, Santino Marella. Made a big announcement at a WWE live event in Toronto, Canada last night, which apparently is Santino's actual hometown. And apparently after Santino suffering a third injury to his neck within the past few years, Santino Marella has called it a career in terms of in-ring, and he will no longer be actively competing in the ring. This does not come as an ultimate shock, as Santino had suffered neck issues in the past, and we've seen with Daniel Bryan recently. We've seen, obviously, we go on the laundry list of others between Edge, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kurt Angle, etc., how neck injuries can take you out. They can have you end up in a wheelchair, and they're no joke. And as much as Santino Marella at certain points probably has been considered a joke in his WWE career, you got to tip your hat off to the guy. Great career, in my opinion, borderline Hall of Famer for the role he served. Multiple-time Intercontinental Champion, including his first ever match, which he won the Intercontinental title against Umaga via the Milan Miracle in Milan, Italy. Obviously, like I said, United States Champion, Tag Team Champion in the past as well. Santino's really done it all. Came this close to winning the World Heavyweight Championship against Daniel Bryan a couple years ago in the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. And, you know, whether he was entertaining or drinking coffee with Vladimir Kozlov or doing whatever he was doing, Santino Marella, always entertaining, played that role well. For what he was, you can't really say he was misused. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to entertain. He had no aspirations to be a World Heavyweight Champion necessarily. He played that role well, and my hat's off to the guy. Very mature, tough decision to make, but made it last night. I'm very curious to see if they have anything to say about it on Monday Night Raw tonight, live on the USA Network. But we shall see. Hats off to Santino Marella. Heck of a career. In other news, another former wrestler who we used to see on television announced his retirement from in-ring competition. This one actually surprised me a little bit more. Former TNA X-Division champion, the Maple Leaf Muscle, the innovator of the Canadian Destroyer, Petey Williams, wrestled Chris Sabin, another former X-Division guy, former TNA guy, last night at an indie show. And apparently, Petey Williams announced that he will be hanging it up as well, retiring from active competition. Petey still seems relatively young. I couldn't really give you the list of injuries that he's had. I don't have that in front of me, and I don't want to speculate, but looks like Petey Williams as well moving on with his life. And my hat's off to this guy, as I'm a lifelong fan, and you know, when you have guys at the end of the road who are injured, who need to move on, it's good to see them make that decision and be able to move on, as opposed to hanging out too long and ending up in a wheelchair. So I always gave Edge the credit he deserved for retiring when he did. Stone Cold Steve Austin, who very quietly retired after wrestling The Rock for the third time at WrestleMania. Honestly, my hat's off. And for Santino Marella, great WWE career. For Petey Williams, great wrestling career. Both guys I'm personal fans of, and I wish them nothing but the best. But we'll see tonight if WWE Raw acknowledges the Santino situation. And we'll see, hopefully, some other reaction videos from Raw tonight. We had a bunch of them last week with Jericho, AJ, and Miz's return. I doubt we're going to have that kind of fireworks. But stay tuned, folks. Joe Passarelli Channel, Joe Passarelli Show. Stay cool.